Welcome to our Dinner Party Podcast. I'm Lindsay Jagger.
And I'm Keith Williams.
We're a podcast for pop culture moments and trending topics. Pull up a chair. All right, welcome back, everyone. On today's podcast, we're covering America saying goodbye to Pat Sajak, the Mexican presidential race that was deadly successful for women. Spain, it's what's for dinner, but donuts are for dessert. And Dr. Pepper is stealing a top spot in the soda wars. Keith, thanks for having us back. You're always such a nice host. What do you got on the table today? What you drinking?
Today, I made up my own drink. I was inspired by last week's recipes section.
Okay.
My thought process was Starburst orange flavor with bourbon.
Interesting.
When you have an old fashioned, usually you want like a little orange peel or orange zest.
That makes sense, actually. At first, I was like, that sounds nasty, but now I'm into it. I can see that, actually. That's great.
And it's doing pretty good for me.
Does it taste like orange or orange Starburst?
Still orange Starburst.
Okay, so
yeah,
sweeter?
So it's not, it is definitely sweeter.
It's giving Long Island iced tea in my head. Maybe a little?
Yeah, probably. It's okay. I wouldn't recommend it.
If you gave it out of 10, what would you rate this cocktail with your sparkling ice?
6.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a very honest, that makes me trust you more, Keith.
You know, maybe that's why it's not in their recipes.
Fair. You went a little too haywire with it.
I tried to do my own thing and it didn't work.
You strayed from the menu and you get what you get.
Yeah, I deserve it.
Nonetheless, we're so thankful for our sponsor, Sparkling Ice. Maybe stick to what they have on their website and not to what Keith serves up at this dinner party.
That's good advice.
Okay, so we have to get right into topic one for today. America is saying goodbye to Pat Sajak, who is a legend and treasure. He's 77 and saying goodbye after 41 seasons of Wheel of Fortune. Also, didn't know this, but Vanna White is staying, which just feels outrageous. I feel like these two names belong together, and I'm a little bit sad that, I don't know, I just feel like they need to, retire together.
So I always thought that they were married.
Oh, yeah.
And here's my reasoning. They show them on these vacations all the time in the show. and
they're
always together.
You think they're really on vacation?
Yeah, I do. I believe them. They tricked me really good, didn't they?
For 41, I mean, we're not 41 years old, but for all of your life, you've thought these people were just filming themselves. OG influencers, I guess.
Yeah, they figured it out a long time ago.
I think they did date. They did actually date at some point. They're obviously now married to very different people, but I also want to know what that's like. I mean, again, 41 seasons. So I don't know if that's 41 years or perhaps even more years than that. I don't know what a season spans. But either way, what was that like? So you dated and then you broke up. Maybe it wasn't a bad breakup and it didn't matter, but you went on to work with your ex for who knows how many decades.
And still going on all these vacations with her, too.
Must be so awkward for new girlfriend / eventually wife, girlfriend turned wife.
Yeah.
/ husband, too. All so weird.
I think it's when he's gone, it's going to feel like when Alex Trebek left Jeopardy.
Yeah, it's just not the same. Remember how that one was so weird too? Because they auditioned a bunch of people and for a week, I think a former producer got the job instead of Ken Jennings, who I think everyone agreed was rightfully the incumbent, right?
There was
interim
a big uproar about the producer, wasn't there? Got a bunch of backlash.
I think the producer just must have been no, I want to do this and hired himself. And everyone was like, no, you are not the person to do this. Yeah, he got a ton of backlash. I genuinely think that person did it for 2 weeks. I don't even remember who it was. I just know he was a producer.
Pat's replacement, isn't it going to be Ryan Seacrest?
It is Ryan Seacrest. And to be fair, I think that's the person you do pick because I can't think of somebody else that
Yeah, I think it works.
He's America's disc jockey.
Yeah.
Right?
And recently, which Pat doesn't look 77.
No, he looks great. Whatever he's doing, it's working.
But it makes sense why he's been a little snippety lately.
He's over it. Yeah, sometimes when he talks to people, I feel like he's more rude to their it's rude, backhanded compliments.
It's all right, Pat.
He's like, you look like an idiot, but I guess the lights are on.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. Like cue artificial laughter, and you can't say anything back to him because you're there for money.
That's true. He doesn't like jokes.
He doesn't want to be in on your joke.
No.
He'll tell you the jokes.
Exactly.
He has a beautiful daughter that I genuinely think could replace Vanna White. I almost called her Donna White. It's definitely not Donna White.
Definitely not.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen her.
So I think that would be the right. I don't know. I don't like that Vanna's staying without him.
It does seem strange. You know, we're coming at. Recently, we've had all these people leave their game shows. I mean, it's been a while now since Bob Barker left, but
Yeah. Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest actually also replaced Dick Clark for the New Year's Eve
yeah.
countdown. He replaces a lot of people. We should look into that, America.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Ryan Seacrest? Not that Pat Sajak's dead. I think.
Replacing old people.
Yeah, he really is. He's taking advantage of elderly.
Yeah.
That's what
That's not good for you, Ryan.
Side eye, Ryan Seacrest. We see your game. We're on to you, and we want to be a part of it. I want to host Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, I actually have
It's America's game show.
I did an audition for Wheel of Fortune. I signed up on their website to be a contestant.
I love that.
Like probably over 6 months ago. And then one day I just got a random email from Wheel of Fortune. And they're like, here, pick a time. And
you got to go interview or try out, audition?
Yeah,
what is it?
it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. You join this Zoom call with like 3 other people and the host. And she just goes around. She's like, everybody just introduce yourself and tell us, why you want to be on Wheel of Fortune. I thought we were going to play Wheel of Fortune. I was
You were
studying.
like ready to go.
I was watching Wheel of Fortune, playing, the little games. I was trying to get ready, and then we didn't play at all.
It was just questions about yourself.
Yeah, like one question, and that was it.
They were just testing
Yeah, she was like, we're looking for energy. I'm like, how? In a question.
You got to be like, hey.
Yeah, I guess. That's not me, though.
I'm going to
show my skills.
I'm going to follow up your story to say that I know the guy that got picked from Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
Because the episode aired like a month ago, and it is actually a friend's ex-boyfriend.
Okay.
And he lost. He did a terrible job. Like, he would guess just the stupidest things. Like, I can't even think of an example of what was on there. But if it was something so obvious, like pull up a chair, he would have said, like, pull up a hair. You know what I mean? Like, he was just like that close, but that far off also.
Yeah. Maybe, is that why he's the ex?
Yeah, I think it is. Okay. I think it is. I'm pretty sure she helped get him on there because she's in marketing as well. I'm in marketing. Okay. So it was definitely her preparation, I think, that got him onto that show. Yeah. But the lack of preparation on his side made him a loser. I think he may have just come in last that day because, man, his guesses were awful.
Yeah. So,
and I'm not great at the game. So also, if I'm watching you and I'm like, man, you suck. Yeah. You might just suck.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they should have you play the game. See if you're any good.
It's true. How do you you need people with energy, but also like aren't sore losers. Yeah. Like, I think you do need to put them through like a tiny test, right?
Because I think Jeopardy, you actually have to like.
Well, that's like a smart game. Like, that's a bit more in depth, I think, than guessing letters. They've got to like make sure you probably do like a for real test to get on Jeopardy, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have to know so much about basically everything in the world.
Yeah, those people know a lot for some reason.
It's impressive. I could never be on Jeopardy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Which, when I got the Wheel of Fortune thing, they don't cover anything. You have to like get out there on your own dime. They don't pay for a hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No wonder they give you $1,000 just for playing.
Exactly.
They're like, this
cover your costs.
But it's probably, has it been like $1,000 the entire time, like for 41 seasons?
Oh, yeah.
Because also $1,000 now does not cover your cost. Well,
no.
Maybe you're playing.
What was interesting, though, all the people that were, in my little Zoom call, they were all from California or LA and could just drive. And this one guy, I was like, oh, they're going to pick this guy. No matter what. He was a veteran.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, they're going to pick this guy for like a veteran show.
America's game.
Yeah.
American vet. We like him.
Yeah.
Well, it's not your fault, Keith.
No.
For the record, I would have picked you over the other guy.
Well, I would have picked the guy too.
Oh, okay. I mean, we do. We support our troops.
But
like,
I'm in
Hoorah and all
I'm in the
that.
pool for a year.
Oh, okay. They can
So,
come back to you.
Yeah, they could email me at any time within a year
I love it.
and be like, "You're on," and then I'm on my way out there.
And then just fame is right around the corner.
Exactly.
And perhaps a new car. Because I feel like people win the car more times than not. Like the $1 million seems to have happened once in a blue moon. The cars get like won quite a bit.
What, you can either take the money for it or the car.
Yeah.
Probably take the money.
Do what you got to do.
Pick my own car.
Heck yeah. Pair that with the rest of the money you got. You can
Yeah.
do some damage somewhere. Speaking of damage, our next topic. So I don't know if you saw this. This made quite a lot of headlines. The first headline was amazing. Claudia Sheinbaum is the next president of Mexico. She will be the first female Mexican president. And I think like I saw somewhere where it's like the first female president in North America, like of our 3 countries or however many countries technically make up North America in a while. I don't know if Canada's ever had a female prime minister.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I think she's doing some big things down there in Mexico. But perhaps more terrifying is nearly 40 Mexican presidential candidates were assassinated this election cycle. And I just want to know where they even got that many candidates. Because America, it feels like we had perhaps 3 to pick from in total. I mean, I know we do now that people have made choices. But even if you were like a Republican and voted, you had 2 people to pick from.
Pretty much, yeah.
And even before that, like, when I look back to see debates, it's not like there's not 30 people on that stage. There's like 10. Like, where did Mexico get all these people willing to risk their lives to run?
After how many people were murdered, do you just be like, you know what?
I don't need this.
Yeah.
I don't got ideas.
Apparently 38 is not the number.
Yeah, I don't know what that, I guess lucky we didn't find out what Mexico's magic number is.
Yeah.
Also, what was your, like, what ticket were you running on that got you murdered? Were you just like, I'm taking out all the bad guys, and the bad guys said, oh, no, you don't?
Big chance that that's what it was.
That's a rough thing. You know, I know in America we have a lot of like back the blue, and then we also have defund the police. Obviously, same topic, different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that anyone in Mexico could be like pro mafia, right? Like, I don't think that happens. Nobody's like on a pro mob ticket, pro gang violence ticket. Nobody does that.
No, I think you kind
So
of
how
just
do you,
have
like,
to ignore it if you're down there.
Got to wave that white flag, though. Like, what's the campaign that gets you not assassinated? What was her campaign? Because she got not assassinated. She's very much alive and winning. So what'd she do? Did she just have more, like, I want to know what her security detail looks like. What kept her alive? We got to study that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that Mexico was doing elections until I saw the headline that she won. So that's as much as I know about it.
They keep it low key until they don't. I suppose I wouldn't want to highlight that I'm doing an election if everyone's getting killed anyway. So
Maybe, there was only 2 people left.
she was like, maybe that's just how that goes. It's very Hunger Games rather than like everybody place a vote. It's may the strong survive. She's pretty gangsta. If I was Biden, I don't want to mess with Mexico.
Yeah,
She's seen some things.
What's their saying in Hunger Games?
I don't know. There's that whistle.
There's the
Like
whistle.
the doo-doo-doo-doo.
May the odds ever be in your favor. I think that's what it is.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yes.
There we go. Yes. The odds are in her favor. She won, and I mean, best of luck to Miss Sheinbaum.
Yeah, congrats.
But also, like, you have to be terrified to take office
What's the chances?
that you're going to get taken out.
Yeah. What's their term? Is
Do you
it 4
trust? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't prep myself for this at all. I mostly focused on the murder. You know me. I was like,
That's
dang,
true.
38 deaths.
Yeah. That's
Is it one person? Did multiple people murder these people? Like, is there a serial killer in Mexico? Because that is quantifiably insane. I just want that true crime doc.
It's the C word.
Crazy?
Cartels.
Oh. Well, maybe a little bit of both C words. Crazy cartels. Cartels working together. Even more terrifying.
Oh,
Or do you
yeah.
think they just like willy-nilly all had things and it was like, who can get to that person first?
I think for certain things, they come together as one.
Maybe.
You know what? If they try to come after us for this, we can't allow that. So we're all gonna come together for this one thing. This is our business.
Nothing bonds people quite like hatred. Like, if you can ever think back to even being a child, and if you're like upset at a teacher or you guys all hate homework, like there's a really fast way to make a friend. If you're like, this sucks, like uniting against the teacher, every classmate that you've ever had, like you will stand strong together. Every classmate together all at once because you're mad about XYZ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's.
Hate is passion.
There was one class I had though. We had this one girl in it, and her dad was the teacher. So sometimes he would give too much homework, and she'd just be like, "Dad, that's too much."
Oh, she was like your nominated
Yeah.
Speaker of the House sort of situation.
She could get things done, and then
You had a man on the inside.
Yeah, we would magically. He'd be like, "All right, yeah, you don't have to do these things." It worked every time.
How old were you? Like, what grade was this?
Oh, we were seniors.
Oh, nice. See, and that is true because back in high school, you ever wonder if your teachers like talk to each other, because some people would be giving out crazy amounts of homework, and then if you had two of those teachers, you were screwed. You had like hours of homework.
Not in my school. I don't think I ever. Well, I had homework. It just never made it home.
I see how you do. I see how you do. I always had a study hall, so I would get anything done that I needed to do because I was also not bringing home homework. If I brought home homework, that was a bad day.
Usually
that was one of those days.
Those English papers.
Those take some time.
Yeah.
Those take some time, especially because it was never about anything good. I don't know, man. Either way, I'm happy. Well, no, I'm not happy that hate united people, but I'm happy she survived, Miss Claudia Scheinbaum.
Somebody's got to come out on top.
It's also the deadliest election that they've ever had, which leads me to believe that quite a bit of people have been assassinated the last few times they voted. Like, how many people died before? Because that's just outrageous.
It seems like I'm not getting into politics in Mexico.
I think I need to, for sure. It's way more interesting than ours.
Oh, well, I meant like I'm not running.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely in that sense. Yeah, no, I'm not like moving to Mexico to get into politics.
Yeah, no,
Correct. No, not a thing.
You can read about it safely from your couch.
Tis a hobby you don't need, because what a lifestyle you must. I mean, you must also have to have a decent amount of money. Not like it's the same thing in America, right? You have to have a decent amount of money to become president because you're going to run for president, or you have to be hella good at fundraising. But I mean, I don't think we've had someone poor ever enter the White House. So same in Mexico, I guess you probably have to have enough to have a private security team.
Yeah.
Maybe those 38 people didn't. They were just innocent people running.
They were just trying to do good.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know what they're running
Who
on.
knows?
Yeah.
Probably should have done a little research on that for our listeners, but that's okay. I think the moral to this story is hatred will bond a cartel just like hatred over homework bonds a second grade class.
Yeah.
Same thought process.
That's the moral.
Anyway, good luck to Mexico and Claudia Scheinbaum. Let's bring it into a centerpiece really quick. Just want to talk about what we've got going on today. This centerpiece is brought to you by Cicadas. If you haven't heard, Noon Whistle Brewing is pairing Malort with a locally harvested cicada for a summertime cocktail. As what it seems like of million cicadas invade the Midwest, the local brewer opted to elevate the experience of the invasion. I'd personally want to vomit, but you can plan your trip to the Midwestern metropolis of Chicago for the special chance at the unique cocktail. Again, it's at Noon Whistle Brewing, who's today's centerpiece.
Joining us now, Joey Jardinera, Creative and Marketing Director for Noon Whistle Brewing. Joey, thank you for coming on. Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
I don't know if it's my pleasure. All right, first question. Why? Just why? Why?
Because cicadas are naturally delicious and nutritious form of protein.
First of all, this guy's last name is the pepper. Giardineria, whatever you say. I can never say that pepper.
I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it either, but I will say because he's from Chicago and those are on Chicago hot dogs, they're like the sport pepper, like the little tiny yellow peppers.
Peppers are good. Last name's hard to say, but there's a conspiracy there. Also, Malort. If you've never had Malort, just don't.
That's the best advice ever.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have a grapefruit flavoring to it. It has to do with however it's brewed or whatever is included in the brewing process or creation process of it. But it is bitter as all hell.
It's pretty gross. I don't know why Chicago thinks it's good.
And it's only Chicago.
Yeah, nobody else likes it.
That's not a thing anywhere else.
Unless they're like putting it in baby bottles.
Back in the 1800s, they probably did.
And, they're just used to it.
I believe it. I'd believe that. But why you got to throw a giant bug? I mean, if somebody handed me a glass of anything with a cicada in it, I'd be throwing that glass across the room. I'd scream and throw it.
And from that
I'd probably
video,
assassinate another Mexican candidate.
Wow.
Unintentionally, but it's freaked me out that much.
The video, it looked like a cockroach.
Ugh. They do kind of look like cockroaches a little bit with like big eyes though.
Yeah, well, this one was floating upside down, so you saw the, you didn't get to see the top down.
Saw the undercarriage.
Yeah, the undercarriage is all you saw.
Nasty.
I couldn't see wings or anything.
They got some big, you just know it's crunchy. So I've seen this time and time again all over social media. And I saw a guy drink it and he took like a shot. So I don't know if it's this cocktail from the Noon Whistle Brewing Company, but he took it like a shot. And I was like, you're swallowing that whole. And these things they have to be crunchy. I just know it. And they're big and nasty. Like that's not a one bite situation. It's so gross.
I saw some other people were like doing salads or soups with it. Just, I don't know why you would want to do that. Like, what makes you be like, I'm going to eat that bug?
I have nothing in me desires to even like, they're gross. They're so gross to me. I will pick up like the shell of one and that creeps me out enough.
Yeah.
Because they molt or
we
whatever.
We would collect those as a kid.
Yeah, they're really freaky looking.
Yeah.
Super gross. Super gross bug, super gross cocktail. But every once in a while, you need a conversation kicker, and that's what this centerpiece is. I think it's smoked. There's one, I think it's like a smoked cicada in the Malort.
Maybe they're just trying to cover up the Malort with anything they can find.
And apparently the solution is a cicada. That's what it takes is a big old crunchy, nasty bug to cover up the Malort flavor.
Road trip.
That's not worth it. No, I'll save the gas. That's not worth it. I'm not. No.
All right.
Ugh. Would you do it? Would you drink it? Yeah, right?
Maybe if it wasn't in Malort. If it was in something else, I would try it.
If it's in your sparkling ice, orange Starburst whiskey.
I'd give it a go. Down the hatch.
In one, like, are you going to shoot it? That's a big bug. For anyone who doesn't know, they're like 2-3 inches. Those things are big.
Yeah, the one in this shot looked really, really small.
It better be. The one I saw, I was like, no, that's a big daddy.
Guy.
I don't need that. That's what would happen to me too. If I got brave enough or drunk enough, more than likely, to try that drink, I know I'm getting the giant cicada. It's just going to happen.
Okay, here's how you do it. You take the cicada out. It's like your lime.
No.
Yeah.
Keith, green face emoji for life.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Take it like a lime. You're going to suck the guts out of it. You'd have to eat it because you can't just like, you'd have to break the exoskeleton.
Big bite from the undercarriage and then down the hatch with the drink.
I make a lot of sounds, but I have never made so many vomit sounds in my life because that's all I want to do when I think of that is vomit. I just like, there's no need for that creativity. Perhaps humankind, this is why we have AI, because human creativity brought us this drink. Stop being afraid of robots. Start being afraid of people who drink Malort.
Agreed.
I think that's what we need to focus on. Why did that come into existence?
A robot would never.
Do you think if I asked ChatGPT to come up with a drink, it would probably just tell me, no, you can't drink a cicada?
I have it open.
Okay, well, now I need to know if this will prove if we need to be afraid of the robots or if the robots should be afraid of us. Because I don't care if it's smoked, if it's it did mention in this article about this specific cocktail that they ethically freeze the cicada to death. So perhaps it's your ice cube. I don't know. Either way, I'm disgusted.
It shot me out a recipe.
Nope. Already angry about it. Okay. What is it?
Oh my gosh. Cicada cocktail. 5 to 10 cicadas.
5 to 10?
Cleaned and cooked.
Oof.
2 ounces of gin or vodka. 1 ounce of lemon juice. 1 ounce of simple syrup. Ice. Lemon zest or a slice for garnish. Optional. Edible flowers or herbs for garnish.
But I have to have 10 bugs in there now. So the robots are actually scarier than individuals. That's what I just learned.
We just had one. They're just like...
They're like
Give
10.
you a handful of them.
Go ahead. Reach into that tree and just as many as you can find, load that vodka bottle up. No, sir. Okay, so I am terrified of the robots and Elon Musk was right. That's fine. Okay, well, now I know at least. And I'll point to this problem as the exact reason as to why I'm afraid of robots in the future. Do you think that wants us to juice them? Like blend them? Am I blending cicadas?
I don't know what it means by clean the cicadas. Like, what do you do? Just wash them?
Probably. I don't want to touch that bug. I'm getting like chills just even thinking about washing that bug.
Boil them for a few minutes.
Okay.
Then roast or saute them until crispy.
It's getting that smoke flavor.
You can season them with a bit of salt if desired. Infuse the alcohol is step 2. Place the cooked cicadas in a jar. Pour gin or vodka over them. Let the mixture sit for a few hours to infuse. For a stronger flavor, you can let it sit overnight. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Now you're straining the alcohol out to remove the cicadas. Now you'll have cicada-infused gin or vodka. Okay, so the cicadas are no longer in it. Now we're just drinking the infused spirit. The spirit of the cicada.
Wait, number 1, I like that name, Spirit of the Cicada. And number 2, I think I would try it.
Okay.
I think I would try that. If I don't have to stare at that bug and I don't have to eat it, I think I could do that. That actually seems more humane to an individual to give them an infused liquor because for all of our, like, let's tie it back to Mexico because, you know, 'tis the season, I guess. You have the tequila with the worm in it. That's essentially what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could get behind that.
Yeah, we haven't I haven't seen any cicadas this year. We must not be in the zone.
And it's strange because they're supposed to be here right now. Like they're harvesting them in Chicago for this drink.
Yeah.
So how Indianapolis doesn't have them?
Usually when they come out, I always see them. I haven't.
We're
heard 'em.
recording this at 7 p.m. So it's not quite time that you would start to hear them. But like in an hour, they should be louder.
Yeah.
Then I'll get out. And it's been quiet.
Maybe we're too far in the city.
Maybe.
But
I don't know. That's never mattered.
True.
I had lived in California and moved to Dallas. And a few friends from California also moved to Dallas. And my Californian counterparts had never heard cicadas. They had no idea what that sound was in the evening. They thought it was like a bird or something like that. They couldn't figure it out. And so I got to introduce all of them to cicadas. And that was like the one time I genuinely like picked up that bug because I know they're gross and I knew everyone would freak out.
Well, now if you ever see them again, you can tell them.
Be like, drink this.
Yeah. You know, guys, if you can find me like 5 to 10 cicadas, I can make you a drink.
The spirit of the cicada.
Because cicada cocktail, that's boring.
Yeah. And gross because it's in Malort. Nobody wants that. Nobody wanted that when it was just Malort.
Yeah. Well, the Chat GPT one is
solid
without Malort.
Yeah, exactly. Much more humane.
Yeah.
Less afraid of AI now.
Okay. Now that we talked it through.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am against Elon Musk and more afraid of humans than.
Read the instructions.
Yes.
You should always read the instructions.
We should have.
Yeah. It's a solid drink. I don't know what it'll taste like. I did see a comment on the YouTube video of the Malort cicada. Some guy said that they taste like peanut butter.
No, listen, I like some peanut butter. We've already gone over this. No, I'm not willing to figure out what they taste like. However, if it's like a peanut butter vodka, then I don't know.
That could get interesting.
It would be weird, but again, willing to try that. If I don't have to stare that bug in the face, if it's not like hitting my lip when I'm taking a drink, I'm good. I'm down.
Let's do it. You could probably buy them online, right? Cicadas?
No, I think you have to harvest them yourself.
Okay.
I think we are in the zone. We just have to go like find them or wait, and then we'll just know when they're here, obviously. They're going to be here. We never don't get cicadas in the Midwest.
Well,
so
if I see some,
they'll come.
I'll collect
You
them.
grab you a handful and make yourself.
Yeah, well, I'll make some for us for the next time.
But don't tell me.
Okay. Till after?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be blind and ignorant.
We could put it in a sparkling ice drink. I'm telling you, the tea and lemonade with the bourbon was really, really good. So I'm thinking tea and lemonade.
With some cicada bourbon.
Yeah.
Boom.
Or
I'm in. I think we actually just got better at this than this bar. No offense to our centerpiece. Done. Lindsay and Keith's Cicada Spirit. You heard it here first.
we'll just start selling bottles of it.
We're probably going to sell a bottle of it, but yeah.
You need a lot of cicadas to make a bottle.
We would spend so much time chasing the cicada wave to make a bottle. Well, also, I'm just thinking there's not a market for it. That's actually where I was going with that. I don't think people would buy it.
People don't know about it.
It's true.
There will be a market, and it could be worth a lot of money because it's not always available.
Right. It happens only when Jesus sends a plague.
Which is every 13 or 17 years.
Amazing.
It's like clockwork.
And then at least I guess we're like, because they destroy plants, I'm pretty sure. I think they're kind of invasive.
Okay.
So I think we're helping the environment, ?
We're pretty green around here.
Yeah, we're enviro-friendly, for sure. For sure. Anyway, let's talk about something that would be nice and delicious to eat. I picked this story because I know you have so much background in Spain. You've obviously traveled there. You've hosted foreign exchange students from Spain. And now Spain has the top two of the 3 best restaurants in the world. The world's 50 best restaurants list came out. I don't know who puts the list together, like the judges behind it, but this is essentially like the Oscars of restaurants. And Barcelona's, I'm going to butcher this, but Barcelona's Disfrutar is made number one on the list. It's owned by chefs Oriol Castro, Eduard Atruch, and Madi Casanas. And then number 2 was in the port city of Bilbao, and it was a restaurant, I think, called Asador Etibari. And everyone can hate on me for how I just said all of those names because I think I absolutely butchered it. But that last one is a barbecue restaurant, and I totally would want to go.
You might be number 39 after that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. If I throw my hat in the ring, it's too late. So maybe they'd just off me anyway. They'd be like, you're so dumb. We already voted. But for sure, I didn't win myself any votes right there.
No, I would like to try these places. Where is number 1 located?
Number 1 was the Disfrutar in Barcelona.
Okay, that's like the number 1
overall.
Okay.
The third one, I don't know what the restaurant's name was, but number 3 went to a restaurant in Paris, which
Paris.
obviously, yes, Paris is known for. I mean, the French are known for their food, which I'll be honest, like they do have good food in France, but it's also because they know how to use butter. Like they just put a lot of butter on everything, I feel like. I'm like, yeah, your food is good because it tastes like butter. Nobody hates that. Butter and salt.
Butter on your snails, escargot.
Yeah. It's just garlic and butter. Like, honestly, escargot is pretty good because it is just garlic butter.
Yeah. French onion soup. I don't know there's butter in there, but that's good.
Cheese. Yeah, they use a lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese. Okay.
Yeah, cheese breads and butter. Of course you like French food. So good for Spain for taking the top 2 spots. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I wonder if it's all like a bunch of seafood.
I don't know. The first restaurant kind of was described at like these 3 chefs, I guess, are kind of known for their creativity. It talked about, I think it had like a pistachio donut of some kind. Like they talked about a gazpacho soup sandwich. So I don't know how that works. Cold soup sandwich. I don't know what we're doing there. Or how you eat soup in a sandwich form. I really don't know. So I think that one's probably like a creative free-for-all, perhaps. Very like Picasso of food. The other one, like I said, is a barbecue restaurant. So I felt like because I understood that, I would be more down. I also have to wonder like then that these restaurants must have like 3 Michelin stars or something.
Or more.
You only get 3. It's
You only
out
get
of
3?
3. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm thinking they have all 3.
Okay.
I don't know that though.
I would think.
Probably.
You know, there's one dish I really love in Spain, and when we went there, or we stayed with the girl we hosted, we stayed with her family, and they're from Madrid. So there's a Madrid dish that's local to Madrid
Interesting.
called cocido, and it is so good. I think they use some kind of beans, and they cook those. And then there's like these little noodle thingies, little short noodles. They're really good. And then all these different kinds of meat, and you put it in there, and it's amazing.
So is it just noodles or what? Like,
It's like noodles and beans and meat, like blood sausage. There was a couple other meats. I know there was one time we asked them, we're like, well, what's this? And everything else they told us the name of, but we're like, well, what's this? They're like, oh, that's just meat.
just meat.
Yeah.
I love that.
They do that a lot. That's just meat.
I like the vagueness. Gives you a bit of surprise.
Yeah.
It's also probably cicada protein. They said it's just you don't need to know American.
Maybe a sea bug.
Squid? They eat a lot of
We had
squid,
a lot
right?
of squid. A lot of squid, yeah. A lot of seafood. It was really good. I wasn't sure what to expect with the Spanish cuisine, but everything was so good. Oh, we had mushrooms once.
It's truly not. Now, everyone who goes to Spain raves. And I know, like, most people know what Mediterranean food is. It's obviously what's on the menu in Spain. But it's not a country you hear thrown around in the, like, food game as much. Like, we don't. Maybe it's because it's the Midwest, but I've lived in LA and I don't recall very many, Spanish places to eat. Like, yeah, a handful here and there, but considering Spain, like, settled Florida, California, like the coasts of America, we don't have nearly as many Spanish places to eat as you would think. It's not as popular of a food, like, segment in the U.S.
Yeah, I don't even know if Indianapolis has one. We used to.
I'd have to Google it.
Barcelona was the name of the restaurant.
Oh.
It was like a tapas
It was
place.
downtown, right?
Yeah, and it's gone. So I don't think we have a Spanish restaurant anymore.
Well, we got to get these guys because I was wrong. It's not a pistachio donut. It's a pancino donut, and it is filled with caviar.
Oh, wow.
And they do have a frozen gazpacho sandwich. And yeah, it just talks about how everything is like the latest manifestation of the team's unbounded creativity per the awards site, the 50 Best Restaurant site. It seems like there's just a lot of infusion there, but they talked about including a Thai-style cuttlefish with coconut, multi-spherical, and squab with kombu spaghetti, almond, and grape. And that's a perennial classic there for you. So that alone tells me that I can't afford this restaurant, but good for them. When you got a menu like that, I just know that I'm not on that menu.
No, it's way too pricey, probably.
We could go smell it, though. I'd go stand outside and smell it with you
Okay.
and just waft.
Yeah. Can you open the door one more time, please?
Get those. We'll get some paper fans and just like waft.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Low calorie, if you think about it. Just like
Oh, yeah.
saving ourselves some calories there.
Probably 0 calorie.
Probably 0 calories. Yeah, I don't think calories come from breathing, so we're safe there.
We just cracked the code.
Figured it out.
Yep.
Joke's on you guys. But the second one does sound amazing. It says that the tasting menu is always the best way to enjoy everything. Now, here's my question, actually. I'm just going to go back to me butchering the name of this. Number 2 was Etibari. It's spelled ETXEBARRI. Etibari. Right? Because you don't say the X in Spanish, like Mexico.
I'm trying to...
Etibari.
Asador Etibari. I'm pretty
I
sure
don't know,
the
but this
double
guy...
R, you got to roll your tongue.
Well, okay, well, Bari.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Well, that's as close as I'm going to get. But this guy offers up homemade chorizo, and
Ooh.
I love chorizo.
Oh, yeah.
Baby eels with sea cucumber and green beans, also on the menu.
Okay.
That felt a little bit more Spanish with the baby eels. I'm thinking of that when I think of Spain. But the star of the show is a juicy beef chop.
Beef.
Yeah, just beef.
What's it come with? What's the sides?
It doesn't list the sides. It says the star of the show is a juicy beef chop. It may look impossibly large, but its succulent texture and extraordinary flavor flavor mean the plate is almost always sent back clean. If I were to put this into American, I would say it's finger licking good. That's what that is.
Let's go.
I'm down. I think we could afford him. Not really. I think if you're on this menu, you're probably very expensive. But I'd be willing to try and pay for this one. €280. Looks like maybe it's a set menu. Who's in?
We can get a group rate.
Message us on Instagram at our dinner party pod, and we'll get a group together. We'll get the reservation. Just come with us.
Yeah, maybe we can get a plain group rate. I'm all for group rates.
Absolutely. We can Groupon it. We'll look for a Groupon.
You think that's how they came up with that name? I never thought about that before. Because I bet you Groupon.
I am silenced because are you kidding me? You've never thought about why it's called Groupon?
No.
Coupon, a group of yeah.
Groupon probably buys them and gets group rates and then sells them to us.
Ding, ding, ding.
Man.
Light bulbs.
Yep.
You won't have to pay for energy for days after that one.
No.
I will say, so because you mentioned Madrid. So we talked about top three. The third was Table by Bruno Verjou. I'm going to say Verjou. I don't know. He's in Paris. But number 4 was in Madrid, and it is Diverso. It's XO. Should I be pronouncing the X?
I don't know how to pronounce.
Diver Mexico. I just keep going back to Mexico because it's the only thing I can think of. Diver
XO, basically, is how you say it. Or spell it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Either way, that one's in Madrid. Top 5. 3 are in Spain.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. If you are a foodie, get your butt to Spain because you can hit 3 of the world's best restaurants out of 3 out of the top 5. That's amazing.
Okay.
Spain needs to promote that. I don't know who does like a visit Spain. You got to get a commercial out like now.
It's looking pretty crazy. I'm on their website.
It's a very modern looking dining room where they have a lot of white. Almost all of the seats look like a chair you'd have in your living room, but fancy.
So the menu, it looks like it has one item. It's called the Flying Pigs Cuisine, and it's €450.
Amazing. I do love pig. I like some pork. When that state fair rolls into town, you can find me over at the pork tent out front of the pig barn, which always felt a bit rude to me. They're like, hey, you act up, you end up outside at that tent.
Yeah. Your tomorrow's food.
You are on a bun tomorrow if you mess up today. Yeah, it says the theme of the restaurant is pigs might fly. So you see that throughout the restaurant. Oh, this is cute. So the story is that when he was a child, he would dream that he would one day own a restaurant where people lined up around the corner. And his father replied, sure, and pigs might fly. So this restaurant is brought to you by I Hate You, Daddy.
Yeah. Little gotcha.
Little gotcha moment.
Well, that's a nice story.
Yeah, but good for Spain. Good for all those people. That's amazing. Food looks delish. I look forward to smelling it one day. Cannot wait.
It's on my list for the next time I go back.
Heck yeah. The other thing, food related, that I forgot, I feel like I should have, brought this jovial news to the top of the hour. It's National Donut Day. And I could not think of a more controversial topic to tie in to National Donut Day than, do you like Dunkin' Donuts?
It's not my choice. Like, if I got a bunch of different donut shops to go to, probably not going to Dunkin'.
Do you think people in New England actually love Dunkin' Donuts as much as they love Tom Brady?
Yes.
Like, that's their choice. Like, they're not going to a local donut shop?
Doesn't look like it. Every time I watch something on YouTube, whether in New England, every single person has a Dunkin' Donuts cup.
Their coffee is pretty good. I will give them that.
The coffee's good.
I like their blueberry cake donut. If I go to Dunkin', if I'm in a situation where, like, that's what's around, I like a blueberry cake donut, and I'll take a coffee.
I mean, I'm pretty plain when it comes to donuts. I'm like a 5-year-old. I like the glazed yeast donut.
Sure.
With
classic.
chocolate on top.
Yep.
And sprinkles.
Love it. I like the strawberry icing with sprinkles. Big fan of that. But I love an apple fritter. I love all the weird flavors also. Like, I love a cake donut in general. So blueberry cake donut. I've had apricot cake donut. That's also really good. Tastes just more like orange. Have you ever been to Tim Hortons in Canada? I think they go as far south as Detroit.
I've not been.
We had one in Indianapolis, and it closed. It did not succeed, which is wild because Tim Hortons is like, I think, just like a Dairy Queen in Canada. Like it's one of the top spots.
Yeah, so they actually built one not very far from our house.
A Tim Hortons?
Yeah.
Crazy. That's the one that closed then because it was just one.
Oh, that was the one?
Yeah.
It wasn't open that long.
No, people did
like
not go.
I almost felt like it wasn't legit. Maybe they didn't pay the franchise fee because I feel like it was only open for like a month and then it was closed.
They said that like people literally just didn't go.
Really?
I think people assumed that it would have long lines because it's like, holy crap, there's a Tim Hortons. Because if you are a Tim Hortons fan, like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I would say in upstate New York, they're super popular. Obviously, all over Canada and Detroit. I mean, those are the places that I know they're. I don't know if they're in Wisconsin as well, but it's just crazy to me that something. I mean, I guess it happens. Things that are super popular in one area just don't survive in other places.
Well, also, if that's the only place you're going to build a Tim Hortons in Indianapolis, that's a terrible spot to put it.
Explain the spot. Where was it?
It's by nothing. They shouldn't have put it there.
Oh, so maybe it was also just in a bad location, like in a cornfield, basically.
It was a terrible location.
We have very few cornfields left in Indianapolis, believe it or not. For those who haven't been here, it's actually like, it's a city with a lot of suburb, but the suburbs sprawl for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
actually, we're in a suburb, and I have a cornfield in my backyard.
Okay, well, you're proving me. Okay,
I'm a rare.
You're
rare.
the rare case. When I grew up, I had a cornfield in my backyard, and they built another housing addition behind me. And I think that's actually what people should take away is that Indianapolis is a city of housing additions.
Yeah, actually, that's what's going to happen to this one.
Oh, 100%.
There's a housing addition on the other side of that cornfield.
It's going to merge.
And when that one's full, they're gonna do this one. The
game in the Midwest, for those who don't know, is how do you mold housing additions together? Because basically they eventually all blend together. You will have decades, like housing additions by the decades. So it's like the oldest one might be from the 80s and then like the newest one is currently being built. And as you drive through this neighborhood, you just like drive through decades of housing addition.
Yeah, and it's great because they all connect, whether that's a good thing or not.
It's a fun mixture of general architecture, not exciting architecture, but general. It's much like a box of donuts, actually, if you think about it. There's a bunch of different things going on, but it's all in one space.
You know, I will say, Dunkin' Donuts did bail me out once.
In what way?
I was doing liquor samples.
Okay.
I needed coffee.
For work, not because you're just like enjoying some liquor samples.
I was giving away the samples.
Copy.
And I needed coffee, and I was going to go to Starbucks. So I went into Starbucks, and I was like, I need one of those, big old to-go thing.
A venti.
Whatever, the...
Oh, a box.
A box.
The to-go box.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was like, I need one of these. And they're like, oh, yeah, we can't do that right now. It'll take like 30 minutes.
You're like, absolutely not.
And I was like, well, what are you talking about? You just fill it up with coffee. Like, you got a whole thing of it right there. Just pour it in there. So I was like, all right. Luckily, there was a Dunkin' Donuts like across the street. So I drive in there and I was like, hey, I need one of these big to-go things. And I'm like, all right. And they just filled it right up. Like, what's the big deal?
They knew.
So they bailed me out because I had to have that coffee.
Starbucks is just a little too fancy.
They were in a mood that day.
I think that Dunkin' is a good basic, but there are better donut places that we have, at least locally. Yeah. Maybe other places don't. If you don't have donut options, I think it's a perfectly fine. I do think they have good coffee, so that was like bomb that they saved you in that situation. Also, coffee places can be so fickle about ordering the like large container to go. So maybe because Dunkin's not like a true coffee place, they were just a little bit more willing to help you out. Okay. Or maybe that's the benefit of Dunkin', because they do kind of bill themselves as like a everyman's coffee, Dunkin', whatever shop, donut shop.
I was just like, why is it on the menu then if I can't order it?
Why is it going to take a half hour?
Yeah.
They have that many mobile orders? They probably do, though. I don't know.
I mean, it was
Starbucks can be busy.
It was like 5:30 in the afternoon.
Crazy. That doesn't even make sense. That's not was there anybody in there when you went in there?
There was like 2 people sitting down and 1 person in the drive-thru. He's like, we're just too busy. Okay, sure.
You're like, fine then. We have I don't know. We have so many donut places to choose from.
We have a lot of donut places.
I will say, though, the number one spot in Indy is obviously Long's Donuts.
Long's Donuts.
It's been here since forever. I think the city of Indianapolis was built around Long's Donuts. That's how long it's been here. Like, whoever first failed at the Oregon Trail, they just turned that wagon into a donut shop and called it a day. And those donuts were not made with love. They were made with bitter old lady juice, because every time you went in there was a grumpy old lady that was upset that you were there to get a donut. It never failed. But I'll tell you what, maybe something made with love tastes good, but something made with anger tastes better, because those donuts are good.
Yeah, and I think they are cash only, right?
They are cash only.
Yeah.
They're still good. Like like it is still good. I don't think it's my number one in Indianapolis, but Long's Donuts is good. I would say they are also better than Dunkin'.
Oh, for sure. And Krispy Kreme.
Oh, for sure. Krispy Kreme hit like a peak, and now it's just not as good.
It's expensive. They have, what, like 12, like a box of 12 at the store? They want like $16 for that.
That's crazy. That's not even good enough.
No.
Like, I'd rather go to Dunkin' than that.
Yeah.
Heck no. Nobody needs that.
It was like half yeast, half chocolate iced. $16.
No way. Pass. Hard pass. I think there also used to be Rise or something like that. There's another donut place that's like from Indiana.
Oh, Rise and Roll.
There we go.
I actually went there yesterday.
Nice. Yeah, they're really good. Anyway, happy National Donut Day to you.
And everyone else.
Heck yeah. Get yourself a good donut. The other thing, we're making our way through a menu here. So we've had, our main dish in Spain, dessert, but you got to talk about drinks. And I feel like as much as like baseball is America's favorite pastime, the cola wars are America's like favorite war, maybe something like that. And Dr. Pepper just knocked out Pepsi for the first time ever as America's second most popular soda. And that is still making Coca-Cola number one as king. So Coca-Cola is still on top, but Dr. Pepper coming through strong. Number 2 in the market now.
I'm excited about that. I'll choose a Dr.
Same.
Pepper over Pepsi every time.
I love Dr. Pepper. And so I honestly, I used to never drink soda because I didn't love I think it's like the artificial sweetener in it. I could just feel it in my mouth afterwards. So it always bugged me. But I moved to Texas, and in Texas, which is where Dr. Pepper was created, it's like just another soda. Like, it's a main staple on a soda lineup. If you go to any restaurant, you can get a Dr. Pepper. If you go to any fountain, you can get a Dr. Pepper. It is a staple. Whereas I feel like in Indiana, you can get it sometimes. In California, I feel like even less. I don't think I ever saw Dr. Pepper in California.
Wow.
Because it's just not main. I would say in Indiana, you will have, if it's Coke, you'll have Coke, Diet Coke, maybe Fanta, Sprite, Hawaiian Punch for whatever reason, Mountain Dew, those things.
Is Mr. Pibb the Coke version?
I think it is. I think that's
Dr.
there.
Pepper?
But here's the kicker. Dr. Pepper isn't owned by Pepsi. That's not Pepsi's version. It's just bottled by Pepsi, which makes me wonder if Pepsi's going to stop bottling Dr. Pepper now that it's a rival.
Out of spite.
But then maybe Coke would just bottle it. I don't know. I think they split between factories. I think both have bottled Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper's just we're not getting in that. You guys
We
got
got
it all. You guys got it figured out. You do it.
And I kind of appreciate, you can get Diet Dr. Pepper, and they have Cherry Dr. Pepper. You have a lot of flavors kind of like a Coke, but it's still just such a different flavor. It's just better.
It is good.
It also just feels like its own flavor. It is very much not like Coke and Pepsi get compared a lot. That very much, Pepsi tried to dupe Coke, right?
Yeah.
RC Cola tried to dupe Coke. Dr. Pepper is not trying to dupe Coke. It really was its own deal.
It's definitely different.
100%. Isn't that their thing? It's 76 flavors, right? Something like that.
I think it was 30 something.
It's something where it's supposed to be multiple flavors in one soda.
I'm pretty sure they say it in the commercials.
31 flavors in a can. I wonder how many flavors are supposed to be in a Coke or a Pepsi.
Well, one of them used to be cocaine.
Hmm.
That's a flavor.
Yummy. Could you imagine? What was that like? I would love to try an original Coke with some cocaine in it just to know. For the record, I'm not promoting drugs.
Right.
I just want to know if it has this like
The same effects.
like caffeine mixed with a little cocaine. Like, what was that like?
I mean,
Because you see some kids go off the wall with like one, like a tiny can, like the little half can of a Coke. Can you imagine if you put some cocaine in there? People are just like losing it. Also, you were having like a Coke and then hopping back into your like Model T Ford.
Yeah, you were.
Wild times.
No airbags.
No airbags.
No, probably no seatbelts. I don't know.
Definitely no seatbelts. You didn't even have a real windshield. Like it was like the half windshield, right?
Like a golf
you
cart.
could definitely like go over that. You're just chugging. You're probably just pounding Cokes. You got like that 6-pack.
Yeah.
They're rattling all around, and you're just like
Well, didn't the
cocaine after cocaine
the
dose.
pharmacist used to make it, right? You would
Correct.
go to the.
I think that's actually. I don't know if it was a Dr. Pepper that created Dr. Pepper, but there was an actual like doctor, I think, that created Dr. Pepper. Like he was a pharmacist.
Yeah, no, I don't. But I'm pretty sure the Coke used to be made by pharmacists.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
every soda was. Because
Yeah.
not everything was name brand. Like soda used to just be like you'd go to a soda shop
Yeah.
and they'd, mix up some flavors.
What'd
You
they
could get
call those
orange,
guys?
strawberry.
They all had like a name, like an old soda shop worker,
Um,
soda jerk.
A soda jerk. Why do you think they called them that? Somebody was just an asshole and they're like soda jerks. And they were like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what that's called. Because it was new and nobody knew that they were being rude.
Yeah, somebody from out of in the country who came to the town once, and they were like, "That soda jerk," and they're like, "Oh, they're called
That
soda
city
jerks."
slick and soda jerk. And it just stuck. Who knew? I will say I have been to the Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco, Texas. Big fan. You should go. They've got everything Dr. Pepper that's ever been Dr. Pepper, every can ever been made. It's got the whole story, which is why I should actually know more than I do because I've been twice, not
You
once,
didn't-
but twice
You
to the
didn't pay
Dr. Pepper
attention on the
Museum.
tour.
I really should have. I honestly took my genuinely took my time going through that place. But I'll tell you what, the sugar rush that comes at the end, I think it just negates everything because at the end of the tour, like any good tour or end of the museum, it ends in a gift shop. That's what I'm trying to get to. And you can get Dr. Pepper flavored everything. I personally am a big fan of Dr. Pepper Twizzlers. I can tell you that right now. You can also get Dr. Pepper ice cream. You can get that Dr. Pepper float. Again, just anything Dr. Pepper, it's there for you. So I think the sugar rush just might have removed all my memory of it. But I can in my head, I can picture all the different things. There's like a well in there too. I think they used well water to originally make it. Something strange.
Yeah, you gotta go.
I mean, you had to
a
have-
gift shop.
Yeah,
You have to exit through the gift shop.
100%.
It's the
They
only
did
way
it
to do
right.
Yeah.
They did it right.
I've been to the Coke one in Atlanta.
That one's probably way fancier than the Dr. Pepper one in Waco.
Yeah, it was big, and you got to try all the different Coke from all around the world. It was pretty cool.
They used to have that at Disney World.
Maybe that's probably where I was.
You were in Disney World, were you in Atlanta, Georgia? Or were you in...
I've been to both. I don't know if I've been. I was at that place with all the different.
I love that you thought you were at actual Coca-Cola factory, but it was Disney World.
Yeah.
I bet, you know what? I bet the actual Coca-Cola factory feels like Disney World. I bet it's impressive.
It's a good call.
I still love that you were at Disney. Yeah, Disney World had that where you could drink Coke from around the world.
Okay.
And Italy tasted awful. It tasted like cough medicine. It was like the trick that you would get people to taste it.
I don't remember that. I was kind of young, but I do remember all
Oh, Italy was nasty.
Okay.
And I remember Japan tasted like fruit. Those are the two that stick in my mind.
That's interesting.
But Italy was disgusting. But I don't think that's what their actual Coca-Cola tastes like. I think it was just like their top soda.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, why are these all so different?
Right? Like, because I've had Coca-Cola in other countries, haven't
Yeah,
you? Like,
yeah.
it tastes like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Like, maybe slightly
It's a little
different because the
different.
sugar or
Yeah.
something, right? But it usually is. It's
had
going to
to
taste
have
like, it's going to taste like Coke.
The
So I think
top
it's
soda.
like the top soda.
Okay.
Either way, Italians, what are you doing? You've got some good food for some bad soda. Tell you that. Either way, good for Dr. Pepper. They've been mixing it up. Glad to see it paid off. All right, we've reached that time in our conversation. We've been thinking over how we do our nightcap and we're going to start a new segment. So this time it's called Nightcap Conversation with Keith. And Keith, this one tastes like alphabet soup to me, so you need to explain yourself.
I'm going to start doing these over in the corner. You got to go to the corner of the room.
Yeah, it's definitely like the party has dwindled. We're all hovering over. You've made another special cocktail. We've moved on from sparkling ice.
We're out of sparkling ice. Now we're just doing straight spirits of the cicadas.
'Tis the nightcap time. But this one, it's all about an alphabet?
Yeah, I feel like you could have used this earlier when you're trying to say those Spanish restaurants.
I needed help.
This would have helped you, I think. The Shavian Alphabet.
I've literally never heard of this.
There was a guy by the name of Ronald Kingsley Reed.
I trust him. That's a fancy name.
Yeah, he is the one who created the symbols.
Okay. So like the letters for this alphabet.
Yeah, the characters, I think, is how you say them.
Okay.
But there was another guy who it's actually named after, George Bernard Shaw. He died in 1950 and left 100,000 pounds for this.
Wait, that's a lot of money to create this.
It's actually worth $3 million in today's money.
Okay, I'm all $3 million to create a new alphabet.
Yes.
Do you think anyone ever got paid for the current like Roman alphabet we use? No way.
No.
Right?
No.
That's wild. Also, for listeners, if you look up, the alphabet is called Shavian, right?
Correct.
Shavian. It looks like a Star Wars language when written down. That's it, like Russian, Star Wars, something very different.
Yeah. So actually, what the English language uses, is the Roman alphabet. Which is why it explains you have some words where you have to put all these different letters together to make a sound. Mr. George didn't like that. He was
wasteful.
I think he was an author, and he was trying to save ink and paper and time.
Vibe.
So actually what happened after he died and he left all that money, all these other organizations, they were like, oh no, this money doesn't need to go to that. So after everything was settled, everything was settled out of court with his will. And the only thing left was 8,300 pounds. Of the original 100,000 pounds for this alphabet.
Mysterious. Where did the other money go?
So they created a contest in 1951 to have somebody create this new alphabet. And he had all these things. He actually wrote in his will, there has to be a minimum of 40 characters. And one of the rules is it must be written without indicating single sounds by groups of letters or by diacritical marks, which are kind of like the Malort has the two dots over the O.
Umlauts.
Yes, those are the diacritical marks. It can't have those. The winner got 500 pounds back in 1951. And I guess that the prize money was actually shared between 4 different people. As we said before, Ronald Kingsley Reed was the one that designed it. He was an art student or artist. It was designed so that each character could be written with one stroke of the pen. You don't have to pick it up and cross a T or dot an I. It's just one stroke. And they look weird. So they have these different categories of letters.
That's interesting in general because this is clearly a writer creating an alphabet for writers.
Yes.
Because it's like, how minimal work can I do? It's almost like T9 before T9. Like T9 for writing, except it's not even shorthand because obviously we also created shorthand, which nobody really uses anymore, I don't think. This is like shorthand, a whole new language.
Yeah, it actually takes up about 2/3 less of the space when you're writing like a book or something.
Also eco-friendly.
So there's 48 characters in this alphabet, and it's kind of cool because there's tall characters and deep characters. So the tall characters and the deep characters are just, if you took the tall ones and flipped them upside down,
okay,
now you have deep characters. They're just flipped because the deep ones are using like your vocal cords.
Right.
The tall characters, you don't use your vocal cords.
Does anyone currently use this for any reason? That's my question.
I don't think so. There is one guy who, like, you can buy keyboards that are in Shavian or Shavian, however you say it. And he loves to type in it. And he's like the known expert.
To me, it looks and reads like the language the U.S. military must use to encrypt things. It
Yeah.
feels like maybe that's what you would use for other languages, not just English. Like the Navajo maybe would have been really into this one instead of Roman letters.
One of the symbols, it's kind of almost looks like a hook. The names for these letters, like this one is called peep.
Peep.
The way it shows you is that like one of the letters is in bold. So you would say p. Or then there's another one that's tot. You just say t. So p, t.
Can I sing the first few letters of the alphabet to our friends at home?
Yes, please.
Ready? Peep, tot, kick, fee, thigh, so sure. Church, yeah, hung, bib, dead, gag, vow.
That's a great song.
I can see why maybe that didn't catch on in kindergarten. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you would have to learn this. I don't know.
I don't think I could learn it now. Like, I'm staring at this as, again, it feels like not even.
I kind of feel like you would have to know the Roman alphabet first to know how to read this.
I think it's the opposite. I think you need to learn this first because because you know English, the way you've learned English, that is why you associate the Roman alphabet as the alphabet. It's like learning a second language. Like, do you ever think of, like the word in English before you translate it to that next, like you're translating versus like if you just speak it, you're not thinking to translate, you're just thinking in that language.
No, yeah, that makes sense. I guess the example that they give us are English or Roman alphabetic words. But yeah, if you probably learned this from the get-go, I'm sure it would make total sense.
It just looks bizarre. I do think we should dedicate a portion of our lives to learning this, though, to write notes to each other. I think high schoolers everywhere should just write in this. Bring back writing notes to each other instead of texting. Get yourself a notebook. You leave it under the chair, and your friend in the next class sits where you sit, and they pick it up just in case any kid didn't know how that works, and write in this language.
Yeah.
And then your teacher won't care because they won't know. They'll be like, weird ass children.
They would have no idea what this means. I mean, I would have to get the code, the codex or
a key.
The key. Yeah. I have to get the alphabet, pull it up to be able to decipher it. But
go word for word. No, I think if you dedicate yourself, I think you just learn it.
I'm going to write my name in it later.
Yeah.
We should put our names in the description in Shavian.
100%. I'm down for that. We'll offer a dual. It's still English.
How are we going to type it though? Maybe not.
I mean, there is a way on the website. I don't know if it would keep the font or I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if it would copy and paste the symbols.
That's interesting.
What do you call a letter? Is a letter just a symbol or are these letters also?
I don't know. Are they characters?
Oh, yeah, that's probably the word. Character. Like a character in an alphabet. But it's a letter. Are letters and characters the same thing?
I think so.
Okay. I believe that.
Yeah.
Synonyms. Okay. Well, either way, there's a keyboard out there for kids who want to learn so you can see what your name looks like in this alphabet.
I'll get it tattooed on me.
Just get your name tattooed on yourself?
Yeah.
You're married, Keith. Get your wife's name tattooed on you. Don't be so narcissistic.
Okay, I'll do that. It's a good idea, actually.
Oh, she has like 3 dots to start with her name. It's going to look like you're finishing a thought.
I do know that if you're writing a sentence, you put a dot like
to start it
in the front, and that's how you capitalize it.
I hate that. I hate that. You know what? I'm pro Roman
characters.
Yes.
Roman alphabet.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be Shavian Alphabet.
Well, I think most people were.
Yeah, clearly.
That's why we're still using the old one.
I do wonder if anyone out there, if anyone listens to this, that you use the Shavian Alphabet. It's another thing we're not pronouncing right this episode. I want to know. And I want to know why you use it. And I want to know where it gets used. Because it blows my mind that there's like a whole other way to type English and it doesn't even look like English. And you brought this point up, I think, off air. I don't know if you brought it up yet. But this alphabet, the way it's done, also allows to differentiate English accents.
Yes.
So like maybe not Canadian. Canadians might say more things like us. Definitely British or Australian to American English would be typed out differently. Like you would essentially spell. I mean, we still spell things different, like color.
Yeah, that's true.
Color.
But yeah, they were saying basically you would spell it the way you want it pronounced. The example they gave was helicopter. Americans, we usually say the ER at the end.
Helicopter.
And the British guy who was doing this, I was watching, he's like, we pronounce helicopter, the T at the end.
Ta.
So they would spell helicopter differently in Shavian.
That's so interesting. That could have been, I guess it's not any more interesting than adding U's places
they
they
like-
feel like they don't belong,
They
but
love their U's over there.
they sure do. The Queen's English, throw in all the U's, a couple extra E's,
I was not following at first, but you were talking about
like shope.
the spelling of queen.
Yeah. Oh, no. I was talking about they throw in a lot of U's and E's in places. So like color, they throw in a
Yeah,
U.
the OU.
And shop, you've got an E at the end, like
Oh,
double
yeah.
P-E.
Double P-E. That's so weird.
Shope. Shopa.
Yeah, it's definitely a shope.
Ye old shope. A shope of color.
Ooh, that's just way too much British English.
Shope of color. I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head. But yeah, they have things different. And I guess this one would also be different.
My favorite, though, is the Australian accent where they end everything with like a AR at the end of words.
Oh, nar.
Yeah. It's so
They
good.
like eat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nar.
Oh, no.
Oh, nar.
It's my favorite thing.
Okay.
Every word would end in the R sound.
I was
Shady.
watching Drive to Survive, like season 1. If nobody's watched it on Netflix, you should. It's a really well done show. It's about Formula One and it follows each of their teams, each of their drivers. It got to an episode with a driver that was Australian. And because he won a race, his team manager had to get a tattoo. Australians pronounce tattoo.
Tattoo?
I literally couldn't finish the episode because he said tattoo so many times and it started to get to me. Like, I don't think I can listen to it. I don't know. I actually listen to shout out to Scandal. There's 2 podcasters that they're Australian podcasters that do another pop culture podcast. They cover like celebrity gossip and different scandals. They do a great job. I can listen to them. There was something about his accent that I couldn't get through that episode. Like every time he said tattoo, I just was like, ugh. It like my eye twitched and I couldn't make it through. I've never watched Drive to Survive again. I literally never watched it again. It ruined it. I don't know.
I'm going to get a tattoo of my wife's name.
In Shavian. ... I think I'll always remember how to write a capital J now, or maybe it's a J-E, but it literally starts with ... You know what this also looks like? I would want to test this. This looks like when you see alien language in like Hollywood movies. Now I feel like it's just Shavian. Because that's 100% what that looks like.
Yeah, next time we see that in a movie,
I'm definitely
pause.
Yes, and decipher.
Yep.
It probably. I wonder what they put. You could be putting some like. It's probably the script. They're just like writing down the script in the background.
Or like, if you can read this, call this number and you win
$1 million.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, we got to get good at this. I think we'll be able to read things.
It's my next goal in life. Be Shavian fluent.
Or maybe you end up in the next movie. Like if it's like call, you get to be. You're definitely gonna end up famous.
So yeah, I need to pay attention more to movies. And what kind of movies should we watch? Like
Alien
movies?
That's like Alien is the only alien movie that comes to mind. When Mars Attacks? Is it When Mars Attack? Do you remember? It's like the movie where country music kills the aliens.
I'd be dead too, probably.
You and the aliens.
Yeah.
Me, it'd just be the Australian driver saying tattoo. Literally never watched that episode or that whole series again. Just ended it for me.
Yeah, see, he would have to spell it differently in Shavian. The tattoo. That's a duh.
Yeah, but he's still going to say it the same. That's the problem. Because it doesn't change the way you speak the alphabet.
No, but in Shavian, you spell it the way you pronounce it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't care how he spells it. I'm annoyed by the way he says it.
No, I get that. But let's say you were reading a book written by an Australian and they typed everything in Shavian.
Oh, like I would read it and I'd be like reading it like tattoo.
Yeah, you'd be like, what word are they trying to say?
This mofo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything ends with the same character, the R sound.
I don't know how many Australian authors I've read lately, but yeah, that probably wouldn't be for me at some point. No offense, because I have Australian friends. I don't hate you. I don't hate the way you talk. We get through all sorts of conversations, and I never bow out. I've never tapped out of a friendship with an Australian.
Just F1 drivers.
Just the F1 drivers and that whole Netflix series. That's my bad, guys. My bad. Who knew? My eye really did start twitching on that. I think my eye would start twitching if I had to learn Shavian also, though.
Yeah, it would. It would probably take a good month if that's all you did or more?
Honestly, if you got it done in a month, I'd be super impressed. If you learned Shavian in a month.
I wonder how long it took this guy who's like the Shavian master to learn all this. Can you imagine coming up with this language?
Can I just say that I bet it took him like 2 weeks. He just seems like, if you're somebody that's like dedicated yourself to that, I just feel like he's the person that's like, no, actually it took me like 24 hours because once you understand the concept of like inflection, you just know that he explains it like that while he's pushing up his glasses up the bridge of his nose.
Yeah, that's
That's the
true.
only conversation he has with anyone because nobody makes it to conversation 2.
I wonder if I can find a picture of this guy.
Okay, so I'm going to guess what he looks like. And I think he has like a Friar Tuck balding moment. Definitely glasses. I'm looking at a sweater vest.
Like the Friar Tuck hair from
Yeah.
Robin Hood?
Yeah, like, where it's just like unfortunate that like you lost your bangs in the top, but like the sides and the like you can party in the back still, but you don't have any business up front.
I think I found it.
Is he old? I'm
No,
picturing someone older.
That's not the right guy. Hang on.
Listen, he either has a mullet and a black t-shirt with some like funny saying that's like federal booby inspector, FBI. Like he's either that guy or he's the Friar Tuck in a sweater vest.
Okay, here he is. No, he just looks like a regular dude.
He's just a dude that's dedicated to something weird. Okay, he definitely has a full head of hair, but he's also for sure like a sweater vest guy.
I can see that.
But he does look more distinguished. But he also very much looks pretentious. If I described a pretentious not elderly, like a pretentious man in his 60s with a full head of white hair and like a button-down shirt with a sweater over it and a coat and like a blazer. Like that's what he looks like.
Yep, exactly.
But it does look like he would, like I would make a lighthearted joke about this being silly and then he would mansplain it to me. That's what he looks like. I'm also unsubscribing from his show for the rest of life after one conversation. That's what he looks like. Unsubscribe, Shavian guy. What was his name? It's not Shavian though. Shaw.
George Bernard Shaw.
And why did we put the V then? Also question.
Yeah.
Shavian.
They're like, it's named after this guy.
But not really.
What, the Shaw part?
Yeah, just Shaw.
There's old Bernard Shaw, George.
Oh, in his later years.
Yeah.
He looks like Rasputin from Anastasia, the cartoon.
Okay.
So that checks out. Also not great vibes. And maybe that's honestly, maybe it was the vibes that killed the alphabet and not actually its like usage.
Would you believe that I've never seen the Anastasia cartoon?
I sure do believe that.
Yep.
I sure do.
Yep.
You got to watch it though. 10 out of 10 on that one. It'll give you a nightmare maybe. Maybe that was just me at like 10. I don't know.
Okay.
There's some creepy parts in
That's
it.
Disney, right?
It's not Disney, I don't think. I think it's like the one like princess movie that's not, because it's like based on a real princess, but it's not.
Okay.
I want to say someone famous, like Robert Downey Jr. or like, I don't know, Mel Gibson. Someone famous is like voices Dimitri, who is like the love interest. And I think Anastasia is done by Meg Ryan. Like it's got famous.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty recent.
Definitely a 90s, I think. Probably a 90s princess movie.
So I say recent, but that's 30 years ago.
It's got good music. It's a solid princess movie.
Okay. Take your word for it.
Like not quite Ariel, but definitely better than Pocahontas. No offense to Pocahontas, but she was real. Like real princess to real princess. I think Anastasia is like my winner.
Russia? Is she Russian? That seems like a very...
Sure is.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So the real story is obviously that like the final monarch got overthrown. They held the family captive for a really long time. They shot them all. But there was the rumor in Russia that when because they kind of did a old school like firing squad situation, that when they went to do that, the young princess ran away and survived. But no one knew what happened. And then there was like a young girl that proclaimed to be Anastasia. I think it's actually Anastasia, but she had amnesia. Like she's like, oh, I don't remember things, but I think I'm her. And that's like the whole thing.
You know, I just watched a YouTube video about this week. I had no
About
idea. I
the
didn't know
Tsar Nicholas.
I didn't know it was the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anastasia. The Romanov family.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it's based off of.
Tied it all together.
Rolls
Maybe,
it on a reel.
I don't need to see the cartoon.
You still should because there are some bangers in it.
Okay.
And you'll like a little like comedic bat for the evil Rasputin. It is very Disney. If it ends up, I'm pretty sure it's Universal, but if Disney made it, you would see like, you know how there's always like some character that's like comedic relief for the villain. They've always got an animal.
Guy.
Yeah. And his is a bat. It's hilarious. He's got good accents in it too. It's fun.
I'm all for it.
10 out of 10. All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in again. We'll see you next time. Bye.